Yo, what's
What's
good,
going on,
guys?
guys?
So,
Hey, what's going on, guys?
today
We are
we are
doing
going to be
thumbnail and
ranking all the
title
aspects of
video
our,
review
whatchamacallem, our
things,
videos.
ranking
Yeah, we're
for
doing the
SCP things.
Containment Breach
Yeah.
stuff, We're doing the thumbnail, title, video, yeah. Sure, that's good enough, I guess. That works.
Yeah, very good. Very. Oh,
Yeah, incredibly good.
yeah.
Incredibly good, man. Um,
That's funny.
so I guess let's actually get into the video and stop screwing around.
Yeah,
So,
we probably should do the things of Leviathan, if
yeah,
that makes sense.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
it very much
yeah.
does make sense to
So,
my
uh,
head. So how, by the way, how are we doing this? Like, we doing it each video individually? Or are we going by places or what?
so what
So
we're
like
gonna
worst
do,
first, or are we going like part one, then part two, then
yeah, it's gonna be one with part one, part two, part three, part four, but at the same time, it's
Yeah.
gonna be first we do all the thumbnail category, then this, and then that.
All right, and then we're doing it numerical order.
All right, yeah.
All right.
All right. So, what do you think that uh the number one should be? It finally begins.
Uh, I think personally, I would put that at number 6. I think all
Ah.
except one thumbnail is probably better than it, even if just barely.
Yeah, I was gonna say either 5 or 6. So then, yeah, we'll put that as 6. All right. So now, the Curse of Radical Larry. Personally,
Put
I
that at
think
5,
that should be a 4 or 5.
I think that should be at 5, since while we did make him big forehead Larry, at the same time, it could be a bit more creative.
Yeah.
Or it could be 4, depending on. I think we should wait on this one actually, because. No, actually, you're right. You're right. Never mind. 5, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, this should be a 5. All right, now the mask. Personally, I think this is a 7.
Yeah, that's the one I think was the only one that
Yeah.
was worse. It's not bad.
It's not. It's not a bad.
Just
It's high,
it
it's
could
not
have
a
been
bad.
more creative.
It could have definitely been more creative as a thumbnail.
I really wish we had done what we did with like in the last one. In the last one, we did something a bit more unique with his face. In this one, we didn't, and I wish we did. But at that point, the whole character wasn't really established yet. So
Yeah, it wasn't fully established. All right, so now Plug Doctor. I think this is a 3 personally.
I agree with that. I think 3's the place for it to go.
All right, and then I feel like these dogs are in.
Yeah, that's number 1.
And then I feel like
Number 2.
Google Chrome Boy is number 2.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, number 2, and then the other ones are number
then
4.
The final one, yes.
I think the final episode and episode number 2 really could be switched around. They're pretty close in quality, in my opinion, but I think it looks good with the way it is.
Yeah, I really did like number 2 because that was the
number 2 is amazing.
Even though it was it was the second to final video, it was the first one I created.
Yeah. Did I say number 2 and number 4? I meant Radical Larry and the final episode. Those 2 I meant.
Oh, you mean
that one is part 2. Yeah, number 2 is amazing.
Yeah.
Part 2 is the Radical Larry one. So
right,
I like it the way it is, though, just because it has more people in it.
All right. So now it's the titles.
Yeah. Now for titles.
I feel like this should be either a 6 or a 7 because it's not really creative. It's just saying it's the begin. It begins.
I think that.
I feel like this should be a 6.
I'm going between 5 or 6, and we'll just do 6 since we both can at least agree that it could be there. So I think 6 works.
Yeah, that one should, like, the this one, hold up. This one right here should definitely be sorry guys. Yeah, no, this sometimes does dumb things. There you go. So this should definitely be
I do dumb things a lot too.
Yeah.
So
that should definitely be, I feel that should definitely have been a 6. Then for the Curse of Radical Larry, that is a good title. I do like that one.
I think
That should be a 3
depending
or a
on where part,
4. I
I
feel.
think it should be at 4.
All right.
Personally, I think 4 is the right place to go for it.
Yeah, I said a 3 or 4. You said 4, so that will make it so it would be a 4.
Yeah.
All right. So now
Monologue of the Mask, I think could be 5. I think that would make
I
sense.
feel like,
What do you
yeah,
think
this
on that?
could, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I agree with that. Monologue of the Mask. Because all it was is just him just, that was named after him just talking.
Yeah.
And
So
then personally, for the Doctor's In, I feel like this should be a number 1.
I agree with that one. Yeah.
All right.
Um,
And for the titles, actually, we should say who created them. So what it was is that I
the Doctor's
created the
In. You
Doctor's
created that
In.
one,
Curse of Larry,
and
you created most of them. Like,
I created all but 2. You did episodes 4 and 5. I did the rest.
technically,
Um,
we both split.
we both did
We
that one.
both
Yeah.
split 6 because I'm the one
Kinda.
who
Yeah.
said the funny things, and you're the one who thought of the
Yeah, and I'm
titles.
the one who translate that into the
And then
title. So yeah, we can split that one.
1 and 7 are just saying the beginning and end.
Yeah.
So you did 2, 3, and half of 6. I
Yeah.
did only 2. And
Yeah. By the way, speaking of part 5, I think that should go at number 3, personally.
Speaking of part 5, yeah, I do agree with that. That these dogs are a lot less fluffy. The other one I created should definitely be a 3 because it, yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good title, but it's not like, amazing.
It's not like an amazing title.
Yeah. And I feel SCP should be SCP Google Chrome Boy should
2.
definitely be number 2, and then the end.
And then the end should be number
Just
1.
the
It's just not a
regular.
very creative title.
That's even less creative than the other one because than the first one, just because it's,
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and then now the video. All right.
All right. Now,
So
I think this will be the one with the most meat to it, I guess.
Yeah, because now we have to describe exactly why this specific video was like, okay or whatever.
Should we go through, give a summary of each one, and then rank them? Since then we kind of are all on the same page about that. Then.
Yes, we should do that.
All right. So part 1, that was when we that's where it started. That's when the wallet joke first started.
Yes,
That
is where the wallet joke. That was a good joke. That was one of the running jokes that was the entire series.
Yeah. And also the censoring was absolute crap in that one.
Yeah, it was very bad. Because it was
we missed a few in the other ones, but we just did awful on that one.
Yeah, the first one was like barely censoring.
Yeah. So, all right. Is there anything else you can think of that was really specific to part 1 other than it just kind of starts?
No, because it was mostly just like the basic stuff. Whenever anyone else does, like starts this SCP series.
All right, then part 2. I think part 2 is the really unique part of this, actually.
Part 2 was a good one that advancing. Definitely part 2 and was definitely one. There's like 2 or 3 out of the entire series that was like an extremely big advancing, thing.
Yeah.
Because in part 2 is when when Larry showed up and teleported you into Heavy, and because you were looking.
I already had the 5.
For the first time, you didn't. This was during this episode where you didn't have the thing yet, and you didn't have the key card yet. So then you were you thought you were like locked in or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You thought you were not going to be able to get out or whatever.
Can I actually say this, by the way, since this is really dumb? Or you know what? Actually, I'll talk about this when it comes to part 5. When we get there, I'll talk about the thing.
All right. So yeah, because you got stuck in Heavy and you thought you weren't able to get out or whatever. So this was like an advance. This was not really advancing as much as we originally say it.
We did still compare.
But it was, you did contain Larry. That's what mostly was the advancing thing. where you
Yeah,
live.
because guess what? Now no more Mr. What do they call him before?
Forehead.
I don't remember.
Big forehead.
Yeah.
Large
Larry
head.
Larry Forehead, that's his name. But so Mr. Larry Forehead, he got locked away, got to eat someone's femur, I guess. So
yeah.
Fair enough.
I still hate the noise that came out of that machine.
Yeah, it's still strange to me how you're just not used to it. I guess it's because I've heard it so much that it's just like, well, whatever. That's just part of it,
Yeah, because I've only heard it 3 times ever. Recording it, editing it, and then playing it one time a game after it. After it was posted.
Yeah. And then part 3. That one was okay. It had some pretty good moments in it.
I feel like part 3. Part 3 was actually one of the ones where there was a ton of advancing.
There was a lot of. I think it was mainly just us getting back to light to do the thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Heavy. It was a lot of advancing because you were exploring heavy. You were doing all the stuff. You were exploring heavy. You were trying to get back to light. You were trying to get the key cards, whatever. You did get the key card in that episode. You did get the if I remember at least, you did get the level 5 key card in episode by just kept on using.
I actually got that in episode. I got that in episode 2. To contain Larry, since that's the only way to do it.
Oh yeah,
level 4.
Yeah, no, but that was also when you were like exploring a lot in.
Yeah, we learned a lot about heavy in episode 3.
Yeah, heavy was a lot of learning.
Yeah, heavy. While it had a weak start, it actually ended up very good. So
yeah, it had a very weak start because you were, you had to find heavy again. You had to do everything, whatever. And then so now we should go to number 4.
Part 4. This one also has kind of a weak start, but I think it has one of the best middle and ends of the entire thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got to, talk to Mr. Plague Boy going on this curing mission again.
Spleen Poker McGee.
Oh yeah, Spleen Poker McGee. I forgot we called him that.
Yes.
So yeah, Spleen Poker McGee. He's a pretty big threat. He did pretty good. Yeah.
Just yeah. So yeah, it's just Spleen Poker McGee being Spleen Poker McGee.
Just
walking around
and also we did make some progress. Now I want to. All right, can we go on to episode 5? Or do you have any more to say about episode 4?
I don't have any more to say about episode 4, and I probably know what you're gonna say about episode 5.
All right, episode 5 and episode 4 to a slightly lesser extent could have been completely skipped. Like, legitimately, apparently, I figured this out when I was doing another playthrough of the game. So guess what? Apparently, when you're teleported to heavy via Larry, right, as long as you've been there, it automatically flips the lever. So we could have just gone back and forth between light and heavy as much as we'd liked, and the reason I couldn't get into entrance was because I hadn't contained 008 yet. Even so, pretty much I could have been in entrance in episode 3 and shortened this series, but I probably 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, we found out during editing that the door was actually opened. You just were being a dumb.
Yeah, no, I was just being a moron, right?
You were just being a complete dumb.
One thing I would like to say, episode 5 had a very good start, but the rest of it was just kind of running,
Yeah. It had a good start, but a lot of it was just running past the dogs.
Yeah. Though I do want to say this, one of my favorite jokes was in this, and it had to get cut out. It's probably my second favorite joke of the series, and surprisingly, my favorite one also had to get cut out because swearing. But I had said LSD be like taste the rainbow in one of the pocket dimension scenes, and we both found that pretty funny in editing.
Yeah,
but overall, I think this is probably one of, if not the weakest episodes.
Yeah, so. It was. It was definitely probably the weakest episode, in my opinion.
And I agree.
Because it was mostly for a good, what was it, like 25 minutes for a good 15 minutes. It was just running.
Just running. It was running back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
You know. Fun fact, actually, originally we were gonna change the thumbnails and titles to from episode 4 and 5. Like originally, episode 4 was called "These Dogs Are a Lot Less Fluffy," and
because that was the first episode you meet the dogs.
Yeah, but we also found that,
Yeah, because it was not only the first episode you meet the dogs, but it was also the first episode where
you meet Plague.
Plague Doctor was also Spleen Poker McGee was in a good amount in both episodes, but because you were in with the dogs so much in that episode, we had to make it.
Change it.
Yeah, we had to change it.
So yeah, again, I think that episode was one of the weakest ones. Episode 6, though, however, was not. Episode 6 was pretty
episode
good.
6 was was another one of the episodes. There was like 2 or 3 in total that were extremely, like, you know what I mean, like
good. Like they were very progress heavy.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Like it was very progress heavy because that's where you were doing a lot of stuff. Because if it wasn't for like how much we did here in episode 6, there probably would have been like 8 episodes or even 9.
Yeah. Also, 2 of the best things. One was Skinny Bone Google Chrome Boy. Getting that joke, but also when we were talking about exploding spleens, I remember we were talking about an SCP, like a fiction.
The to be continued meme.
That one, yeah. So, but just before that, we were talking about an SCP that would poke you and make your spleen explode.
That's where we thought of the name Spleen Poker McGee.
Yeah, and then because of that, like
you weren't paying attention and you opened the
and
door.
Then I opened the door and I'm just like, and this didn't get in it, but I was like, O F or O S H, I don't remember, and I'm not gonna say it because more editing, right? But pretty much, I just booked it, and it was a lot of fun. It was probably one of, if not the scariest parts of it for me, at least, other than episode 1, which I think personally was the scariest for me, since I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yes, that would be correct. It was definitely an extremely scary moment, because the second he opens the door, he just turns around, you just see him start crying. You're like, oh god, that's where you know you messed up.
Yeah, I'm just looking at him and I'm just like, well, crap.
And you just booked it.
Yeah. It was just kind of like, well, guess I'll die. Only I didn't do that and I just ran.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So now let's go on to episode 7.
Also,
in episode 7 was, in my opinion, it had the best joke in the entire series, but it had to be cut out because of the...
It had to be cut out, yeah. Well, it may have actually been episode... Here, one sec.
Alright, guys, so we're back for a second. And it actually... We checked, and it was actually episode 6 that had the best joke in the entire series. But it had cursing in it.
It had to get cut out. That's my favorite joke as well. And it's really funny, but we ended up... Well, we didn't really cut this one out fully. It was during the montage.
It was during one of the montages.
And we put music over it because it had a lot of swearing.
It was when he was. It was when he was trapping Mr. Spleen Poker
McGee
into that room in the hallway when he kept on dying over and over and over a couple times.
Yeah.
And
we
also
did make a lot of progress in the final episode.
Well, let's quickly finish about what we were saying about that one, about the joke right there quickly.
So do you want me just to actually tell the joke and just censor it, or
no, but what I was gonna say is that there will be, what we're gonna do for all the jokes, how Unkeeled said that we're gonna be posting, what we are gonna be doing is some point after this video is posted, we're gonna be editing all the running jokes throughout the entire gameplay.
Yeah, and adding them all. No censorship.
No censorship. So on my channel, it's gonna be
18 plus.
18 plus because I don't really want swearing on my channel and because I want to be more family friendly. But I do want that there, so people under 18 wouldn't be able to hear the curses, if that makes sense. But if you are under 18 and like say your parents don't care if you hear curses or if you don't care, go to Unkeeled's channel.
And I have the swearing.
And he'll have the swearing version, like the any age swearing version.
Yeah, because
I don't. Both
really
of us have the swearing version, but yeah.
Yeah, but like any age.
So. Yeah, any age. He'll have any age. Mine's only 18 plus. For that.
Yeah, since he wants to have family friendly channel, and I respect that. You know, it makes a lot of sense, especially with how YouTube can be. You know, so.
All right, let's finish the final episode, and
then
put them in.
So the final episode, we made a lot of progress on that. I mean, obviously we beat the game, but I think it could have been better. You know.
Mm-hmm. I feel it could have been faster if you would have remembered.
Yeah, if I would have not gone through the forest and then realized I forgot to pull the lever.
No, that you literally went into the room and didn't pull the lever.
Yeah. I have to go through the forest and I realize, oh crap, I didn't pull the lever. I go back, do it, go back again, and I have to deal with Mr. Spleen Poker McGee, I think. And yeah.
Yeah, you had to go through the forest 3 times in that episode. One going there the first time, one coming back, and then one going back over there.
Yeah.
And then you beat the game through, what was it, A gate first?
I made it through gate A, yes.
Yeah, gate A
and
first.
I got the good ending.
That's the good ending.
The other ending is where I get shot to death.
And then where...
Well, actually, normally I'd either get nuked or shot to death in a different spot. But in SCPs, like, destroy the world or something. I don't know.
And then gate A is you just get captured and classified as an SCP.
Yeah, and unless you can actually get captured and escape in one of the gate A endings if you didn't contain 106. But obviously I did contain 106. So he couldn't pull all of his big forehead Larry type maneuvers and get me out of there, you know? So.
Yes.
So you want to rank them now, or do you have more things to say on this one?
I don't have much to say. That was like, it was mostly just at the ending, having to go back, like, again, you being dumb, and having to redo, having to run a bunch of times. So yeah, let's start ranking them again.
All right.
I feel like, personally, I feel that, like, one should either be like a 4 or 5 because it's an average one. It's mostly
I think it should be a 5.
Yeah.
I that's what personally I think.
Because it's an average. Because that's mostly what everyone does in the first episode. Because that's mostly what everyone it happens to everyone.
Yeah. Well, then again, Mr. Ear Bear was in it though. It's still at number 5, but I'm just saying Ear Bear was in it, and he was a pretty cool dude. Not really. He yelled at me.
He yelled at you.
But yeah. I think number 2 should probably go at spot number 4.
I could agree with that. Again, it was another average, sort of. It was a medium average. The more you go on, the less average it became because of whatever you have done in the first. I feel like at 3 and up.
Me being dumb.
Yeah,
that's why.
Because I feel like not just because you being dumb, but I feel like 3 and up are usually not the average ones. Because 1 and 2 is usually more average because whatever you do in these 2 affect heavily on what you do in the rest.
Yeah, and having Larry contained so early made everything a lot easier. So
yes,
this series easily could. If we didn't contain Larry at that point, this series could have easily been a couple parts longer, depending on how annoying he was. So
yes, you being in heavy and being like, "Ha, no."
Yeah, haha, no. I would say something else, but family
Yeah.
friendliness be like, you know.
Yeah. So then I feel like the mask should either be. I feel like that was, an okay episode. I feel like that should be like a 6.
I don't know. I'd actually put it at 3 just because of one, the 106 scare was really good. And so or no, not the 106, the 096 scare was really good, as well as that was kind of when we started really getting to explore heavy, get a lay of the land, you know?
Mhm. So how about this? Let's skip this one and whatever we feel about the rest
All right.
could affect where that one will go. All right.
Yeah. So part 4, then I think that's number 2.
I feel
Just my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Where I feel like this should be a number 2.
Yeah.
But I do feel like even though it was my favorite thumbnail and it was like a midway title, I feel like this should definitely be like a number 7
I agree with that. I feel like
because
this really
it
could
was
have been a better
90%
video.
running.
Yeah, it really, like, if the cut was a bit nicer to it, in that, like, it ended up with, like, a longer running time, or maybe not longer, but, like,
Shorter.
if we cut slightly earlier or later on the other one, it could have been much better or much worse, depending.
Yeah.
So, I think it was kind of killed by the cut. I think the Google Chrome boy should go at number 1, by the way.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing.
Since I think that one was overall,
It
if
had
we
the
average
best
out all
jokes.
these scores,
This
I
one
think
had
it
the
was the
best
best
jokes.
video. Yeah.
Best jokes, and it was a really good advancing episode.
Yeah.
Not only it was extremely like game friendly, where it was like extremely advancing, whatever, it was also extremely funny.
Yeah. My only I was that it was only 22 minutes, and I kind of like going for longer. But you know what? It worked out. So
Yeah.
you
And
know, who can say?
see, because for now, what we're at the last 2, where the reason why I say this should be like a 6 is because I feel like this episode is better than this.
Personally, at least, don't really think so. Like, it's not a bad episode by any means, and I think it may be a tad too harsh to say that, like, to say that it would be at 6. You know, honestly, you know what? I think maybe what we could do is move down part 1, and then that one would go at part 5, at number 5 instead, since I think it is better than part 1. Part 7 is, you know.
So which one you said put to?
I'd say that we could move it like that, and then put part 7 at number 5.
Unless we also do this and then we do that, because I feel like this was still a really good episode.
All right, I'll agree with that. That sounds good.
And there we go.
All right. So yeah, those are our rankings, right? And hey, just a bit of a hint, right? There may be a bit of a secret link to this video later on, depending on how real world events go. Since I might be making something, but you know, you didn't hear it from me. So yeah. All right. Well, that was the video. So
thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see y'all next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching, y'all, and have a nice day. Make sure to like and subscribe if you feel like it, or some crap like that. I don't know.
Just for something. Peace, guys.